I have a really important question that I want you to ask yourself, and a mindset shift that I'm going to challenge you to implement as we move forward in this semester. It's been a challenge for me, and it's a game changer. This first couple of weeks of teaching have been a roller coaster, to say the least. I'm someone who has worked really hard over the summer to implement the best experience that I can, and it's still been rocked with all sorts of different challenges. I found myself developing kind of a critical attitude towards my students over the first 2 weeks. The amount of it's in the syllabus type of emails and questions I got was through the roof. I was opening up my email inbox to close to 50 emails a day, if not more on some days. I'm sitting here thinking, I have this huge organized course with an amazing course map and amazingly structured Blackboard, and I've given course tours and recorded course tours and filmed explainer videos and ABC XYZ. Why am I getting these questions? Why am I having students ask just absurd things that are really easy for me to fall back on and say, you're being lazy, you're not looking at what I'm doing, like, this is a dumb question, or things like that, saying like, I can't believe they just asked me this. I was listening to a podcast that included or was an interview with Brene Brown. And if you've been watching the channel, you know Brene Brown is one of just my idols as an educator. She does a lot of work on compassion and boundaries and even just mindset. In this podcast, she challenged the interviewer and said, what if they're doing the best that they can? And so I asked myself, what would change in my mindset, or what would change in how I interact with students and the way I view all of these incoming things if I asked myself, what if they're doing the best they could? And if I operated under that assumption that my students are doing the best they can, well, I found myself immediately being much more compassionate. I went as far to write this down on a note card and set it over here on my desk and say, what if they're doing the best that they can? And I even shifted it to, they are doing the best that they can. I know that I'm doing the best that I can, and I feel like I'm falling short a lot. And you can probably resonate with that feeling too. You're like, this is what I'm capable of right now. I know it's not perfect, but please go easy on me. Your students are probably feeling the same thing, right? We are in the middle of a huge civil rights movement in one of the most divisive political elections in potentially history, and a global pandemic. We're all just doing the best that we can. Having that reminder just allows me to act more compassionate. Some people may push back and say, well, some students are just being lazy. And maybe, the logical and realistic part of my mind says, yeah, there's probably some students who are just being lazy. But I don't believe that that is the majority. Not even close to the majority. That's probably a small few. And so, should I negatively impact those that are doing their best, hoping to catch or hold accountable the few that aren't? I don't think so. I really believe that if they are being lazy, it's going to catch up to them, and it's not my job to police that. And it's not my job as an educator to search it out. It's my job as an educator for, when I recognize it, hold them accountable to it. But beyond that, my goal is to support and serve my students, and being compassionate and understanding is how I do that. So I challenge you to write this down on a note card or a post-it or somewhere you're going to see it for the next week, and just hold it up there for 1 week and say your students are doing their best. And I would love to hear what comes of that reminder. So this is my challenge to you. Write it down, put it somewhere you're going to see it, keep it up for 1 week, and please let me know what changes. I would love to hear about it in the comments below. I'd love to hear your stories of compassion and student stories in the comments below, and I'd love it if you liked and subscribed to this channel. It makes these videos possible for me as a full-time father and full-time educator. I love doing them and I want the room to do it, and so it also helps spread the message of compassion to other educators by helping the YouTube algorithm realize that people enjoy this. So please like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.